1. So I was processing this rich, dyed blonde, early 50s lady's return. She was accompanied by a friend. My store offers refunds, but only on the same method of payment. Same exact card used, same last 4 digits. Pretty standard, right? Alright, so we'll be refunding $14 onto the card, ending 1234. I don't have that card with me. You can put it onto this one. I'm sorry, but it's the store's policy that we have to refund the money onto the exact same card or a store gift card. You still have 2 months left to return your item. You can come back another day with this card, or I can give you a $14 gift card right now. Well, that's no good. I'm going on vacation for 2 weeks out of the country, so I can't use it. There's no expiry date on the card. You could always use it when you come back. This is ridiculous. I've bought thousands of dollars worth of clothes from here. You need to put it on whatever card I want. I can't do that. It's against our policy. After a little more back and forth of the same thing being said, me maintaining a polite and professional demeanor but no longer being that extra dose of nice that I usually am with all customers, she says, "You're not a nice person. You don't belong in customer service. You don't know how to give customer service." I don't even know how to respond to such a bald statement. I'm not nice? Out of options, brittle-haired bitch accepts the store gift card and leaves. Later on in the evening, she returns to buy some hair accessories. I don't actually recognize her, I just can't seem to register a customer's face without actively trying, until she pulled out the gift card to pay and I recognized the amount. I kept on serving her as I would any other customer, though regretting my default nice setting. Once we were finished and I let her know that she had about $4 left on the card, she freaked out. "What do you mean? I still have money on that card. Put that money on my credit card." Once again, we do the dance several times. I can't do that. "Do it." I can't. To her friend, "This idiot won't help me out. I don't have room in my wallet for this card. Now I have to go to Florida with this weighing me down." To me, "This is ridiculous." She stomps off, but her friend stops her. "Wait, I have to buy something." Me, internally, Lord, bear me strength. I process the transaction, no drama, and end with the customary return policy spiel. BB says to her friend, "And if you return it, make sure to return it to another location." I'm completely fed up and over civility at this point. Yes, make sure to cost the other location money and not us. They finally leave, but not before purposefully browsing a folded table in the meanest way possible, throwing shirts willy-nilly. When I went over to refold, I purposely counted how many seconds it took me to refold. 96. 2. A bit of context. So I picked up a second job as a frozen food vendor. Originally, the job was just a pair of local grocery stores, one of which my wife is an assistant manager in and friends with the woman that helped get me hired. During the initial interview process, we talked a little about me expanding beyond the 2 stores. Fast forward a few months later. I've been occasionally handling other stores over the weekend from time to time. They pay me mileage and the rate's pretty good for part-time. I've had a few retail positions in the past, both the Big Red and the Big Blue stores included, so dealing with people isn't a problem, and I'm more patient than most people. Started my Saturday at Store A of my 5-store journey. I go to the back, grab the loaded U-boat, and head to the floor. As I'm stocking the shelf, pushy woman decides I must help her. "Where's the canned pumpkin?" "I'm sorry, I don't work for the store." "Well, you look like you're working. Where is it?" "I can't help you. I'm a vendor that travels to different stores and just stocks these things." Motions to the U-boat. "You really should learn your job better." Pushy woman huffs off. Not the greatest start to my evening, but hey, a job's a job. You've got winners everywhere. Store B was short, so I'm on to C. By now it's raining and I was starting to look forward to being done. I'm 2/3 of the way done with my small U-boat, and who comes power walking down the aisle but my good friend Pushy Woman. I turn so she doesn't see my face, as she hasn't noticed me yet, and hope she'll just walk on by. Guess my luck's not that good. Where's the canned pumpkin? Hello again, sorry, I don't work for this store either. Unbelievable! How is it you can't do basic function of your job? Because I visit a dozen different stores in about 100-mile radius of my house, and memorizing the layout and stock of every store for a part-time job is really more than necessary. That, and it's not my job. Well, you should make it your job, huffs off again. Next thing you know, I'm at Store D, wheeling my stuff out to the floor. And wouldn't you know it, here she comes again. Where's the... it's you. Are you always all over the place? Just depends on where they need coverage. My co-worker's off, so I'm covering a few places. Guessing you still don't know where the pumpkin is. As irony would have it, Store D is on the same chain as my regular store, so I had a good idea. Make you a deal. I'm pretty sure I know where it is. If I'm wrong, you ask someone else and go home instead of Store E. Fine, where is it? Aisle 5. She never did return to the frozen aisles, and I didn't see her at Store E, so she might have honored the deal, thinking I may not take my employer up next time they need coverage. For those of you asking, I don't think it was a matter of looking in the frozen section for pumpkin. This occurred on a Saturday evening, and the night and stock crews weren't really out yet. I kind of set my own hours, so maybe she was having trouble finding other employees. I know I saw them, but maybe they saw her first. 3. This happened 2 years ago at a very well-known home improvement store that I'll call Blue Store, and involved one of their competitors, which I will call Orange Store. I worked at a Blue Store in the paint department and was currently working a morning shift this fateful day. A woman approached me for help. Do you work in this department? I do. How can I help you, ma'am? My husband and I are painting our living room, and we ran out of paint. I need another quart so we can finish. Sure thing. Do you happen to remember the brand and color name you used? Now this is very specific since different brands of paint have different bases, which causes colors to come out in different shades. To get the same shade you want, you have to get the same brand in order for it to match. Yes, I have a picture of the can, and the color name was Harvest Wheat. She shows me the pictures, and I could automatically tell that the can was from our competitor, Orange Store. I'm sorry, ma'am, but this brand is from our competitor, Orange Store. We do not carry this brand of paint. If you want to finish painting, you will have to go to Orange Store to get the correct brand. No, I purchased these paint cans here. I want another quart so I can finish painting my living room. Confused at this point. Ma'am, we do not sell this brand at Blue Store. It's an Orange Store product. If I put the color you want in one of our brands, it will not come out the same shade you currently have on your walls. You're not listening to me. I purchased it here at Blue Store. I want your manager. I'm irritated at this point, and I'm confused what part of we don't sell this brand she doesn't understand. I grab my manager. Yes, ma'am? I need another quart of Harvest Wheat. I need to finish painting my living room wall. She showed the same picture to my manager. Ma'am, we do not sell this brand at Blue Store. If you're trying to finish painting, we highly recommend going to the store you originally purchased at. I told your associate already. I purchased the paint here. Manager realizes this lady is going to keep fighting. Manager ends up putting the paint color to a brand that is close to the one she received, but gave the lady a warning. This will come out lighter than what you currently have on your walls. There are no refunds on tinted paint. Once you purchase this, we will not take it back. Lady leaves, and my manager and I already know she's going to be back. A few hours later, near the end of my shift, sure enough, the lady is at the customer service desk and is demanding to speak to my manager. I want a refund. I just bought the quart of paint to finish painting my living room wall, and the color did not match after it dried. Ma'am, I did warn you that the color was not going to match because you used the brand that Orange Store sells. I want to talk to your supervisor. My manager grabs the store assistant manager, tells him what's going on and how the customer was warned it wasn't going to match. Ma'am, I can confirm that Harvest Wheat is sold by Orange Store. We do not carry it here. And trying to finish your walls with buff will come out differently.
Unbelievable! I told you, I purchased it here. You know what? I'm going to call my husband, and he's going to tell you the same thing.
So she takes out her cell phone and calls her husband and puts him on the speaker.
Hello? I'm currently at the blue store and they're refusing to refund the extra quart of paint I bought, even though the color doesn't match.
Blue store? Honey, I bought that paint from Orange store. You picked out the color of the swatches and I ran to grab the paint, remember? The lady's face is bright red now from embarrassment. She's not even the one who bought the paint, it was her husband. She hangs up the phone and there's just an awkward silence for a few seconds.
Can I have my refund at least? This is the wrong brand.
Unfortunately, no, ma'am. We do not accept refunds on tinted paint, and we do not accept refunds on empty paint cans. Yeah, the quart was completely empty too. The lady just huffs and grabs the quart, then storms out the doors. I love how her husband unintentionally threw her under the bus. This was a great laugh for us staff. 4. Scene: small pizza place in my hometown. 10-seat bar, 2 high tops with 2 chairs and a dining room that might hold 10 people. This place tends to fill up with locals quickly. I'm always by myself here, so I don't like to sit at a table. It seems wasteful for a couple that might eat. Anyway, I come here often, so I know everyone that works here by first names. Most of their significant others, kids, parents, etc. I've also done some work on the place for them, and have a running tab. So the situation: I'm standing at the end of the bar. There are 1 or 2 bar stools available, but I'm okay standing. Kay, the bartender, walks away to take some orders, get plates, do whatever, and the bar fills before she goes. Enter college douche, and 3 douche friends. They sit and stand around a high top. He looks right at me. "Hey man, over here." Again, small town, and I have a lot of siblings, so I thought maybe he recognized me through some connection or something. I walk over with my beer. "Hey, what's up?" "We need 4 Miller Lights and 4 shots of Fireball." Oh, he thinks I work here because I was slightly behind the bar. Let me calmly explain. "Oh, sorry, man." "Don't hit me with that your shift just ended bullshit. My boys want to get tanked." "Yeah, man, what I was going to say is I don't work here, but I'll let Kay know when she gets back you want drinks." "So you're not gonna get our fucking drinks?" No." I turn to walk away. "Hey man, is the owner here?" I don't think so." "Yeah, I bet you don't know. My dad owns this place, and you're going to be fired when I tell him you didn't serve paying customers." So at this point, I don't know what this kid's on about, because I know a lesbian couple own and run the bar, and a friend of mine owns the building. And he only has 2 daughters, but I go on. "Sure man, you do that. I'll go back to my spot at the end of the bar." "So you're just going to stand there and drink and not serve us?" As I finish my beer, I shake my head yes, just as Kay the server and bartender comes back and sees College Douche and his friends. She goes over and starts her thing. They order the same douche order, and Kay proceeds to card them. As this happens, Kay asks if I want another, and I say yes. She tells them she'll be right back, gets my beer, and heads back to them. College Douche hands over 1 ID. "So yeah, 4 Miller Lights and 4 Fireballs." "Yeah, you can only order 1 if you only have 1 ID. "What the fuck do you mean? I have an ID so I can order for them. You and your dumbass partner planned this so we couldn't drink. My dad owns this place. I'm getting you both fired. Tonight." "Yeah, you're gonna have to leave." "What the fuck? Didn't you hear me? I'm getting you fired." "Okay, go outside and make that phone call, and we'll wait here." CD and his friends walk out, CD still puffing and fuming. I feel bad for his friends because they kind of looked embarrassed and hungry. So we did the only sensible thing we could think of, and called and texted the other bars and bartenders not to serve these guys, because he was such a flaming douche. 5. I work at a grocery liquidator a la Big Lots, but for food mostly. It's in a poor part of town. This means we get a lot of shoplifters. Now in my part of town there was a pretty big scandal in which a restaurant owner was paying for stolen meat so that people could buy drugs with that money. The meat for drugs trade is real here, which leads us to this story from Friday morning. It was a fairly normal morning. Things are getting straightened up, stock is getting ready to be put out. Nothing out of the blue. When I say nothing out of the blue, this includes someone that looks pretty shady coming in. We notice her right away, as we're in the office and can see everyone coming and going. She is a little twitchy, hence she will be known as Twitchy Lady. Now a sure sign of a shoplifter for us is they make a beeline towards the meat department right away. Twitchy Lady does this. Thus the produce guy, the dairy guy, and myself are on the prowl. I mosey on down the aisle and watch Twitchy Lady sorting through ribeyes. It's a sight to behold. Twitchy Lady has holes and stains everywhere on her clothes. I'm not overly judgmental, but if you look that way and look at steaks, I'm going to assume something's up. So Twitchy Lady does the usual shoplifter thing of going through all the steaks and finding the most expensive ones. About 5 packs or so. She turns around and I pretend I'm conditioning the aisle, as she shoots up the aisle next to me. Now I want you to get a picture of the produce guy. Imagine a gorilla with a beard. There you go. He's a hefty man that should not move as fast as he does. Within seconds he's caught her red-handed shoving steaks in her waistband. Now normally if they admit what they're doing and don't fight us on it, we'll just issue a ban and let them go as long as we get the product back. Nope, Twitchy Lady wants a fight. She takes a swing at our produce guy, and finds herself face first in a shelf full of olive oil, plastic bottles, don't worry. After a while, he gets her subdued and escorts her to the office to wait for the cops. The cops get there and do the basic questions. It's a rookie cop, and he's gung-ho, so he's going to book her for theft of about $100. Rare, but okay. Guessing she has priors. Later did a mugshot search, she did indeed. The best part of this, though, was the conversation that follows. Are you aware of why we were called?
I stole stuff.
What did you steal?
Steaks.
Why did you steal steaks?
I was out of drugs.
Why did you run out of drugs?
I used them all.
What's your drug of choice?
Crack.
Are you high right now?
Uh-huh.
How did you get high?
I smoked it.
What did you smoke it with?
My pipe.
Do you have the pipe?
It's in my purse.
So not only is the theft charge there, but they're going to get her on paraphernalia and public intoxication too. Before you ask, he didn't coerce her to answer his questions. She freely gave him the answers and didn't invoke her right to remain silent. I'm sure it didn't help that she was high, but all the charges would have happened anyway through the camera footage proving the theft, and testimony if needed, a search of her purse and a blood test. Hey everybody, Hellfreezer here, and thank you very much for listening to Adventures in Fast Food and Retail, number 41. And thank you very much to everybody who allowed me to use their stories in this video. I know you were expecting a glitch video this week, but it's kind of a busy week all round, so perhaps the folks who would usually be sharing glitch stories, they're visiting family, or fighting with family, hiding from family, throwing leftover food at family. Who knows? Hopefully things will be a bit more back to normal next week. Doesn't mean I'm having trouble finding any stories though. The Adventures in Fast Food and Retail, quite a number of those, got loads of hotel stories, so we're okay in that regard. So retail it is today. Well, let's see, this will be the first new video I've made. It's 26th of December, so Christmas was yesterday. I hope you all had a nice one, whatever you may have been doing. Mine was quite pleasant, actually. Got up a bit later, still quite, getting up earlier than usual, much earlier than usual, usually before midday, which is super duper early for me. So I got up a bit early, lounged about in the sofa for a bit, I had a can of Coke and some cocktail sausages because I really know how to live it up. And eventually worked up the will to get dressed and went around and visited family for a bit, petted the dog as is tradition. And I gave out presents, and I was very, very surprised to discover I got presents. I don't usually get presents in Christmas, and I don't feel sorry for me or anything. It's just I don't. It's just the way it is. And my little niece says she got everybody presents because she's been working super hard for the past year, and she got a paper round about a year ago now, I think it is. So I was very, very pleased. I had a big smile on my face. She got an extra hug for that. And then spent a bit of time with the family, of course, just to let them know I still love them. And then came home, made dinner, which was very, very nice. I was so stuffed I couldn't even have my pudding, though. I'll get that today when I'm done making videos, so. Okay, so with that, I think I'm going to head off for now. So until next time, thank you very much for listening, and take very good care of yourselves.